us to relay to you. Mr. Gwynn, is it all right for our guest to leave the studio now? All right, you may leave now. This is the script that Mr. Gwynn gave me, and I'm going to read it verbatim. And anytime you wish to interrupt me. All right. There is a doctor at St. Luke's who knows about a city called STYNX in New Mexico. I need his help. He's at St. Luke's Hospital. All right, this is Bill Close. Louis didn't go out. Louis, well, our guest must leave. Well, he's gone. I don't know where he is. He may have gone out the back door. Would you check on that, please? All right, I'm going to continue here. This starts out, this is for Bill Close and Dan Rather. And Mr. Gwynn writes, yeah, you're getting the feedback. You're getting the feedback. You're on. My name is Joe Gwynn. I am a watchman. Read the 33rd chapter of Ezekiel. This is about the story of the 10 prophets. The 10 prophets are Johnny Cash, Ronnie Millsap, Eddie Rabbitt, Larry Gatlin, Hank Williams Jr., Rex Allen Jr., Willie Nelson, Conway Twitty, Loretta Lynn, Lacey J. Dalton, Tanya Tucker, Barbara Mondrell, Joe Gwynn, the traitor. The Arizona Republic and Phoenix Gazette can verify this story. 16 years ago in September, about the 25th of 1966, all of these people's names above meet at the same time, including me. I was almost 13 years old. We all meet and we're together at the same hour. Mysteriously, I was the only one who knew what it was about. The others didn't. I did. And why Islam? Islam knew why and arranged for us to meet. We talked very little with each other. Lucy J. Dalton wrote a song for me that day. It's called Mistakes. There is one thing they all knew, is that I held the key. They all knew that I knew something, but they didn't know what. I saw a movie. Islam is using something called sociology on children in schools across America today. Sociology is the study of the human condition. It is also something called funnel vision. Funnel vision is a way at looking into the future, and it is also hypnotism, being able to hypnotize people. Islam is using this sociology on children. They used it on my generation to start the hippie movement and drugs, and on today's generation to turn them into punks and punk rockers by hypnotism. In the next 2 years, there will be 5 new cities started in the United States. Mr. Gwynn, before I read these cities, is there anything you want to say at this moment?
No.
All right, thank you. These will be major cities. Only men, white Anglo men, will be living in these cities. They will be completed in 1994. There will be about 15 million men in these cities by July of 1994. With the, yes.
Okay, these men that are going to be living in these cities are homosexual.
Okay.
And I am a homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
And these are my brothers.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
All right. Let's see, where was I? There will be about 15 million men in these cities by July of 1994, with the capacity of holding 20 million people. World War III begins in the fall of 1988. Edward Kennedy will be the next president. He will be elected for 2 terms. Now, at the end of World War III in 1994, our troops will be coming home from war. Islam is going to trick these troops into going into these cities on the 4th of July, 1994. These cities are going to have a parade. It's Independence Day, the war is over, and we're all brothers. On July 4th of 1994 at 12 noon, there will be 20 million men in these 5 cities. Islam is going to blow these cities up with atomic bombs. These 5 cities are Cyclops in Pennsylvania, Omenix in Arkansas, Yosemite in Nebraska, Isolox or Itchabad in Idaho, and Snix in New Mexico. All these cities will be isolated. After this happens, there will be civil war in America. The United States will be divided up into 4 countries, an Islam country in the east, southern states of America in the southeast. In the southwest, it will go back to Mexico, and a new state from the states in the northwest. In the next 20 years, there will be a migration on 80 million people from Latin America. In the next 20 years, that will follow that there will be 200 million people from Latin America in the United States. There will be a civil war. The United States will become a Latin country. The southern states of America will be invaded in about 2006 to 2016 from an army from Brazil. That war will last 6 months. Brazil will destroy the southern states of America in 6 months. The fall of Canada will come shortly after. More about the 10 prophets. As the newspaper reporters were arriving, I was leaving. They only got a glimpse of me, the man from Islam, knocked the camera out of the reporter's hand. The next day it came out in the newspaper, a story, the 10 prophets. Here again were the names of the people I met that day. Their pictures were on the front page. Johnny Cash, Larry Gatlin, Ronnie Millsap, Eddie Rabbitt, Hank Williams Jr., Rex Allen Jr., Conway Twitty, Willie Nelson, Lacey J. Dalton, Tanya Tucker, Loretta Lynn, Barbara Mandrell, and where my picture was supposed to be, it was blank below with the words, "The Traitor." This much of the story the Arizona Republic and the Phoenix Gazette can verify. They left it a mystery. Today in the public schools, the story of the 10 prophets is being taught. Take a survey among 6th grade school children. Bill Close, at least 1 in 6 know the story about the 10 prophets. Why is this being taught, and why is it being kept such a secret? Why are they doing this? Find out. In the last 16 years of my life, I have had communications through mental telepathy with all of the peoples named. In the story of the 10 prophets, all of these people have tried to get me to show up for 16 years. They have wrote songs and talked to me. Lucy J. Dalton wrote a song for me, Mistakes. Bill Close, listen to the song. In the song, it talks about another big gray movie, provides the big silver screen, and about my crazy dreams. Let me interrupt here. Do you want to read some of this, or do you want me to continue reading?
Leave this part out.
Leave that part out?
Sorry.
Okay. Do talk to her. Also, Tanya Tucker watched me being born. Why isn't it a mystery? Ask Dan Rather to talk to Johnny Cash. They have met before when Dan Rather did 60 Minutes on Johnny Cash. They talked a little, not on television, about the 10 prophets. Johnny Cash knows my name. Call the Arizona Republic and Phoenix Gazette and find out if this story ever existed. If they can't find it, do a survey with 6th grade school children. You will find 1 in 6 who will confirm the story exists. Islam started a fire at the Arizona Republic and Phoenix Gazette several years back and burned the place up. Please check out my story of the 10 prophets. This is why I am known as the traitor. Here is my story. When I was a little boy, about 5 years old, I did something called astral projection. My spirit took a walk out of my body. I was frightened. A man from Islam shows up to me and starts showing me all the things I would do and what I would become by using funnel vision. He really scared me. Then an angel shows up and they talked and the man from Islam left. Then the angel shows me a book about me and the life I was supposed to live. The angel told me the story about the 10 prophets. Then he told me I was a watchman, Ezekiel chapter 33. The angel told me I would meet all these people, the 10 prophets, the country singers. This is these people's part they have in this. Back to the beginning. Islam used sociology on our people. In my generation, they call us hippies. Islam came to my school, C.J. Jorgensen, 1963 on Rozier Road and 17th Avenue in South Phoenix. Now the angel told me all about Islam and his culture. The black man is Iqab. This is his African culture, Islam and sociology. Sociology is the study of the human condition. It is funnel vision and hypnotism. The Latin America has also mastered sociology and hypnotism. The East European is from Romania, Hungary, Czechoslovakia. These three are brought together through Islam. These three groups are the best organized in the world. They have infiltrated every institution in America. The Eastern also has a way of looking into the future. By looking into the human mind, they can see that person's thoughts in the future and change those thoughts with the use of hypnotism. They can program the human mind like a computer. People will do what you tell them. This is how hippies got started and the punk rockers. Islam used this sociology on children. Now the 10 prophets part in it was that these people's part in it was that I was to tell them the story, but not about the angel, only about the cities. Cyclops in Pennsylvania, Ominix in Arkansas, Yosemite in Nebraska, Isolox or Izabad in Idaho, and Snix in New Mexico. I had a movie inside my head about everything they did and could have proved it. The singer's part, the 10 prophets, was to get these people back to their country roots and away from chasing fads like hippies and punk rockers. It was to unite our people one more time. World War III will start in the fall of 1988. Edward Kennedy will lead the United States in World War III. He will be the next president and be elected 2 terms. The angel said we could unite and fight these Muslims there, Islam and their allies. God's plan is that these men who want to build these cities go up in the Northwest Territories and build a country there. In our old history books, this country existed. 20 million men from the United States built a utopia country in the Northwest Territories. Their colors were green and Canada's pink. There is oil north of the territories around Victoria Island, the northeast side. The largest in the world will be discovered there. There is lots of wealth there. And at Baffin Island, east side, there is lots on minerals there. There's zinc, copper, uranium, titanium, platinum, and others. These 20 million men who were going to be in these cities built a country and developed this country. These are the richest people in America and the smartest. Some of these people are doctors, lawyers, judges, policemen, bankers, land developers, construction workers, scientists. Some of these people are the best NASA has, and the other agency have. Cyclops of Pennsylvania has the smartest people in America in it. They will lead these. We'll start first. Bill Close, check into these cities. These cities must never be built. The loss of 20 million men and their wealth would destroy America. Challenge Cyclops to show the world who they are. Reagan can stop these cities, and Kennedy won't. Now is the time to start. These men built this country. Later, there will be this migration of 200 million people total, with Latin America will be living in the United States. This will open a door for our people who want to leave because there will be a civil war. Our country will no longer be the United States. The Latin Americans will be the same to us as we were to the Indians. The United States isn't in the Bible, but we are in the North. The Bible says that there would be an alliance between the 2 northern powers that border at the polar circle. Russia is one and Canada is the other, unless about 70 million people migrate to Canada and make it a power. This is in the Bible. The angel showed me, but I didn't write it down, like all my dreams and visions. This is why they say I am a traitor in the story about the 10 prophets. I ran away from these people. I didn't do what the angel told me. He told me that these cities were going to be destroyed and to stop them. Go and build this country in the Northwest Territories and fulfill the prophecy on the 2 northern powers that border at the polar circle. Our names will go down in Lamb's Book of Life because they would have fulfilled this prophecy. Our forefathers were liars, murderers, thieves, sinned against God, brought to America in chains. Our forefathers destroyed a culture that existed for several thousand years. We could have built a country in the North without destroying any people. There wasn't any people in northern Canada and the Northwest Territories. Our forefathers went south when they should have went north. This Bible prophecy is yet to be filled. Now with my first prediction.
Stop. I have something to say for Reagan.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to move this microphone over so that you can.
Okay.
Why don't you just hold it?
Okay. President Reagan, Islam is using sociology on your son, Ricky. Ricky, tell your father what they're doing. They're using sociology and that they use it to turn you into a punk. This is our last chance. We can only do this when your father is in office. Let's stop these people. This is our only chance to stop them from using sociology on anybody again.
Okay. You want me to continue reading this now? I'm going to hook up the microphone again. We need to point out that Mr. Gwynn came to our studios and convinced me that this is something that we should read on the air. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Where were we? Now with my first prediction is the fall of Great Britain by Argentina. After the British fleet is destroyed over 2/3, the remainder of the British will be pursued by the Argentine fleet, an aircraft carrier and 7 ships. They will destroy Britain's military bases on Ascension Island 72 hours at maximum after the British military base on Ascension Islands are destroyed. London will be destroyed by an atomic bomb. Let me interrupt here. Mr. Gwynn, do you want to turn up the volume to make sure that this is going on the air? You hear it now? Let me get over here so that you can, I'll get over here. Now you get close and listen. Can you hear me on that set now? Wherever the speaker, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, see, we are on the air. Mr. Gwynn needed to be convinced that we are on the air live television. Okay, shall I continue? We just want to make sure that everything is going the way you want it to go.
Start over on Argentina. Start all over at the beginning. The fall of
The first, no, my first prediction is the fall of Great Britain by Argentina. After the British fleet has destroyed over 2/3, the remainder of the British will be pursued by the Argentine fleet, an aircraft carrier and 7 ships. They will destroy Britain's military bases on Ascension Island. 72 hours at maximum after the British military base on Ascension Island is destroyed, London will be destroyed by an atomic bomb. The Argentina aircraft carrier will come within striking distance of London. 1 plane will come within firing range of London. It will destroy London and return back to the Argentine aircraft carrier unhurt. The Argentine aircraft carrier and 7 ships will return without any losses to Argentina. Britain won't even fight back. They won't even resist. This will be the fall of Britain. Johnny Cash, you will have 72 hours to tell the Queen to evacuate London. 72 hours after the destruction of Ascension Island. Dan Rather talked to Johnny Cash about the 10 prophets. They have talked before. Ask Johnny Cash to tell all he knows about the 10 prophets. Islam must be stopped. Check out the story. All Dan Rather has to do is talk to Johnny Cash, tell him my name, Gwynn, and Johnny Cash will tell the story. Bill Close, check out this story. I only met these people once, but I want them to know all I have written. You are able to do this. Find out the truth. Call the Arizona Republic and Phoenix Gazette. I want to stop Islam from what they are doing and help my people find their history book. I have been talking over about $15,000 reward for it. It shows our future and the Bible prophecy I have been talking about. The alliance between the 2 northern powers, the border of the polar circle. It was written a long time ago. It tells about a migration of people from the United States into Canada, that there would be 100 million people in Canada in 50 years. Right now, there is less than 30 million people. Islam has destroyed these history books. They have also changed the Bible in the last 50 years. They wrote the scripture about the alliance between the 2 northern powers that border at the polar circle. Let's see, this is the last page on both sides. Other predictions. 1, the Falklands, 72 hours after Ascension Island destroyed, London destroyed by atomic bomb by Argentina. 2, these 5 cities to be built, Cyclops in Pennsylvania, Omonix in Arkansas, Yosemite in Nebraska, either Isolox or Ichabod in Idaho, and Snix in New Mexico. If these cities are built, they will be destroyed. July 4, 1994, 12 noon, by Islam atomic bombs. Number 3, Edward Kennedy will be the next president of the United States. He will be elected for 2 terms. 4, sometime in the next 2 to 5 years, there will be an invasion of ants in Arizona, the Brazil fire ant. Our ants will live. Our ants will live. Our ants will leave no convoy. Will leave a tall convoy. Is that what it is, through the Greenback Mountains on Tonto Creek, going northeast of Payson. This convoy will be several miles long and several feet wide. Prediction number 5. World War III will start in the fall of 1988. It will end in 1999. On the 4th of July, 1994, at 12 noon, these soldiers will be in the 5 cities above. Islam will destroy these cities with atomic bombs at 12 noon, July 4, 1994. Number 6, in the year 2000, the United States will be divided into 4 sections. In the east, Islam, it'll be a Muslim country. In the southeast, it will be the southern states of America. In the southwest, it will go back to Mexico. In the northwest, it will be another country. Between the years 2006 to 2016, there will be a war between the southern states of America and Brazil. Brazil will win this war in 6 months. They will destroy the southern culture. The fall of the northwestern country will fall, and so will Canada, unless our people will start going to Canada now. By the year, number 7, by the year over. Now we're on the last page. By the year 2000, there will be 80 million from Latin America in the United States. By the year 2030, there will be 200 million people. This population explosion is happening in Central America. These people will do to us as we did to the Indians. Our future will be in Canada, but we must leave now or it'll be too late before this second wave enters from Central America. Prediction number 8, right?
Yes.
Between the years 1995 and 2000, there will be a war in Asia between Indonesia and Japan. Indonesia will win. There will be a conflict between Indonesia and Australia. Indonesia will win. Australia will be divided into 2 countries. Western Australia will become New Australia, and the East will become part of Indonesia. Prediction number 9. If Brazil fights with the United States in World War III, if they are our ally, this migration will happen without violence. You policemen, if you read this, please give this back to Bill Close. They're hearing it. I want him to check out my story about the 10 prophets. I would like Dan Rather to talk to Johnny Cash about this story. Islam is behind it all. Islam wants to destroy our people. In my billfold is a picture of who we are. Shall I hold up this picture?
That's
all right. Who we are. Islam is after the frontier people, the founding fathers. We are their descendants. But Nostradamus did not write about me because I was the worst he had ever seen. I didn't write my visions down, but his friend Julius Caesar Scaliger did it in October of 1529. They had a fight about it. The philosopher, star date 12/1/53, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, just after midnight. And that's the end of what you wrote for me to read, Mr. Gwynn.
Okay.
Do you have anything that you'd like to say?
No, no more.
Is that it?
That's it.
Can we now, can I say something like we now return to our regular programming? This has been a special broadcast that Mr. Gwynn insisted that we make. We hope that you understand and will bear with us. We think that his message is a very important one to him. We appreciate your attention. And now we return you to our regular programming. I got a sweaty palm. I want to shake hands with you.
You really do, huh?
You bet. I told you I was playing this fair. Did you think you didn't trust me all this time? Oh, hell, it's all right. Leave him alone. It's okay. Put down the guns. I have the gun. Back off with the guns.
And now, from Arizona's largest and most respected broadcast news team, this is Cool News 10. With Bill Close, Mary Jo West, Joe Doherty, and Anthony Martinez.
Good evening. Well, after 5 hours, it is over. What you saw on your air during the last hour were final moments of a terrifying hostage drama.
We appreciate your attention, and now we return you to our regular programming.
Well, it was acted out in our Cool Television studios, and it was all too real. The situation, quite simply, is this. A gunman who entered the Cool TV studio minutes before our 5 p.m. news is now in police custody. 4 hostages, including veteran Cool anchorman Bill Close, have been freed. All are safe. As part of the gunman's demands, regular programming here on Cool TV was interrupted at about 9:30 tonight. Now, what you've seen and are seeing again, a tape replay of those moments. The gunman, identified as 29-year-old Joe Gwynn, said he had a message to deliver, a message from God about the impending violence Gwynn said he foresees upon the earth. As Close read Gwynn's message and a list of demands, there was a gun, remember this, a gun pointed at his stomach. Following the broadcast, Gwynn surrendered without resistance. As we said before, it all began minutes before 5 this afternoon. While viewers at home were watching Cool News 10 live at 5, this was the tense and terrifying scene in our Cool studio. The man being held is production assistant Louis Villa, a longtime employee of Cool Television. As police were called to the scene, the news went on as normal from our newsroom over here in another part of the building. In a matter of minutes, the Cool building was surrounded by police. The area was sealed off as negotiators established contact with anchorman Bill Close, who acted throughout the 5-hour ordeal as a mediator with the gunman. Now, from the outset, the gunman's demands were vague, and Peter Van Sant has been one of the many who's followed the drama this evening. Peter?
Mary Jo, after Joe established himself in the news studios with his 4 hostages, the long hours of tense discussions between Bill Close and Joe began. Joe said that his decision to forcibly enter Cool TV came after an encounter with God.
And he showed me in visions and dreams how God showed me what was going to happen in the future. Those cities are going to be built and there's going to be destroyed. There's going to be civil war in America. America is going to be divided up.
Joe wanted to get his message across. He wanted the world to know what God had told him. He also made it clear with a gun to production assistant Louis Villa's head and his arm around Villa's neck that he was willing to kill to get his story before the public. Shortly after 7, after talks with anchorman Bill Close, who was on the phone with law enforcement officials, Joe agreed to release 2 of his hostages, floor director Jack Webb and cameraman Bob Cimino. 2.5 hours into the ordeal, with Cool employees anxiously watching on closed-circuit monitors, Joe made his first verbal death threat. He wanted his message to be televised.
Now, the only thing that will convince me is when I see myself on television.
Louis being in here with a gun in his head won't. That'll destroy
I didn't
your
give it down.
You want the people to believe you, don't you, Joe? You want the people to
I don't
support
give
you?
it down.
Oh,
I don't
yes.
give it down, but that they will be convinced.
As you can see, Bill Close was talking to a man from the Phoenix Police Department. He's on the negotiating team. His name is Bruce Wise. Now, there were other hostages in the studio at the time besides Louis Villa and Bill Close. There were some floor crew members, and they were released earlier in the evening, and Mike Ara is here with more on that. Michael?
One of the first people to be confronted by the gunman was Nancy Petrenka, a Cool TV production assistant. Nancy was operating a studio camera situated just a few feet from some double doors that the gunman came barging through. It happened just as the 5 o'clock news was about to begin.
He was carrying a gun and a small TV monitor, and didn't say anything. Everyone was just kind of backing away from him. And I said over headsets, there's a guy in here with a gun, and took my headsets off and crouched down behind the camera, and he yelled at me to get away from there. And started coming around towards me, and I got up and started to move away from him, and then Louis Villa came towards him, and that's when I made a move to run away. And then at that point he grabbed Louis with a chokehold and brought him up onto the set.
News production assistant Louis Villa was hit on the head with the butt of the man's gun. He then put Villa in a chokehold and situated himself and his captive in front of the TV monitors near anchorman Bill Close. Nancy Petrenka says she got out of there fast.
I ran, afraid that I was going to get shot in the back as I ran. The gun was pointed right at me, and I knew I had to get out of there. I didn't want to. At this point, I realized what he wanted. He wanted me.
Did Louis Villa appear to you to see what was happening and move to intercept this fellow?
Yes, I think he was trying to get the gun or trying to calm him down because he had a manic look on his face. I knew that he was not playing a joke.
Hours later, 2 other production assistants who were in the studio with the gunman were casually let go. They are Jack Webb and Bob Cimino.
Bill Close complained about needing a drink of water, and so I went out to get him a drink of water. I went out of the studio, and I was going to return with the drink of water, and then the policeman outside the door would not let me go back in the studio with the water. They said that they wanted to get everybody out of the studio as quickly as they could.
We were just there and no use to him, so he let us go.
So you just got up and walked out?
No, they ordered 2 glasses of water. I went and got him at the door, took him to him. Then he said I could go, so I left.
That was about at 7:15 when Webb and Cimino got out. More than 2 hours later, Louis Villa, the man who was held in a chokehold at gunpoint for more than 4.5 hours, was freed when Cool went on the air with Joe Gwynn's message that was read by Bill Close. Louis Villa was taken to a hospital emergency room and treated for the wound on the back of his head. He's okay. So was Bill Close. Mary Jo?
And that's good news. Well, there's very little known about the suspect tonight. All we know at this point is that he's 29 years old and his name is Joe Gwynn. But tonight was not the first time Mr. Gwynn has been seen around the Cool News studios. Sal Quijada has more.
This afternoon was not the first time that the gunman has been seen in the vicinity of Cool TV, located here on Washington. Longtime employee and photographer Phil Walsh says he saw the same man twice in the last week.
Last week, when we were setting up to do Joe Doherty's weather, I came in and saw this same gentleman talking to our receptionist here. He said he told me he wanted just to come in and look around, and then I said, you can't do that. And then he said wanted to go look at some tapes. And I said, well, I can't let you in, but if you tell me the date, we'll try and find him for you. And but he didn't know any dates, and he was rather incoherent. I mean, he didn't really seem to know what he wanted.
The man got an explanation and left. But last Tuesday, Walsh says he saw the man again, hiding behind a pole, watching the alley that separates the Cool newsroom from the broadcast studio.
After I parked my truck, I immediately went back out to see what he was doing. He was still there, but he started walking around in front of the station.
Walsh says the man paced along 6th Avenue, just across from the police station, watching the alley.
I was going to call the police on him. I was so concerned, I almost called the police on him. But when I turned around again, he was gone.
Police were never notified. Sal Quijada, Cool News 10.
Well, Joe Gwynn surrendered to police tonight a little bit before 10 o'clock, and Sal Quijada is standing by live outside our Cool studios with Chief Ruben Ortega with an update. Sal?
Chief Ortega, what was successful about the tactic that police used in negotiating with?
Well, the thing that really helped us resolve this thing is that we really had 3 negotiators working on them, and the primary one was Bill Close. He could not have done a better job negotiating the situation for us than had it been one of our own officers there. He just did an outstanding job, and our 2 negotiators, Bruce Weiss and Rusty Hawkins, just were superb in talking to Bill. We had a very difficult situation that the thing that was so unusual about this case is that our negotiators could not talk to the suspect directly as we normally do in most hostage situations. So we had to work through Bill, and he was a real pro at it. So
did you ever feel that there was real danger at any point?
Oh, absolutely. There was constant danger through the whole thing for those 2 hostages that he had. We were convinced that he meant business, obviously by the fact that he had injured one in the beginning and he had fired a shot. There was no doubt in the officer's mind that the man meant business, that he would harm them if he did not have his way. And we were able to string it out for about 5 hours, but toward the end, we had to make the decision to let him go on the air because we felt that if we didn't, he definitely was about to shoot at least one of the hostages. So the decision was made. It's worth the risk of what may come later. We felt that we can take steps to prevent this sort of thing from happening again, but it was worthwhile to save 2 lives to do it. So the decision was made to go ahead and let him go live.
The issue of security comes up, and we're right next to the Central Police Station here. What kind of lesson do you think might be learned from all of this?
Well, obviously, I think a lot of times we take for granted that security is not a high priority in some businesses that they should be concerned with. I think from now on, the media is going to be more concerned with security for their facilities. This is not the first time that a suspect has tried to take over a station or try to get his views aired. This is the first time that I know of that a suspect has gotten inside and actually taken hostages to do it. We felt that at the end we had no choice, that he was going to open fire on the hostages. So the decision was made by everybody was in agreement that we had to let him go on the air.
Okay, thank you very much for being with us, Chief Ortega. Mary Jo?
Starts at that door.
Thank you for carrying that.
Well, it's nice talking with you, sir.
Are you the guy?
That's me. Pleasure.
Good, buddy. You did good.
Proud of you.
Yeah, thank you.
That police officer you just saw earlier was Bruce Weiss, the chief negotiator. That gentleman is Tom Chauncey, head of Cool Television. As you can see, a very emotional moment, a very relieved man. The Cool News staff clapping. Margin Jasulian, vice president, one of the vice presidents here at Cool.
Thank you.
Let's go back outside Cool News with Peter Van Sant, who was standing by the police officer Mike Jan. Peter?
That was such a beautiful scene when Bill Close re-entered the newsroom. He was as calm as can be, and calm is the word during the entire negotiations that he had with Joe inside the studios. Bill Close was as calm as could be. And with me is Sergeant Mike Jan. Sergeant, in dealing with these type of negotiations, Chief Ortega just mentioned that one of the goals is to wear the man down. Tell us more about the technique used in trying to nab a suspect like this.
Well, this kind of person expends a tremendous amount of energy just going through the process that he's going through. And the idea is that we have time on our side, and we can take that time, wear the man down, meet some of his demands, as long as they're reasonable demands. And in this case, we felt absolutely positive that he was going to take someone's life, and ultimately the fact that he was given time on the air.
Sergeant, some police departments have reputations of shooting first and asking questions later. Phoenix has really established itself as having a reputation of being able to talk these people down. What are your goals when you enter these types of situations? For instance, you had a sniper situation here several years ago, and now this thing tonight where life is definitely being threatened.
Well, I think time is the key factor in being able to talk with a man and negotiate with him, or establish that negotiation. And as the chief said, this was one of the tougher ones because we did not have that direct contact, and we, in fact, had a third negotiator, Bill Close.
And he did a fine job.
Excellent job.
All right, thank you very much, Sergeant. Mary Jo, we'll toss it back to you, and thank God this story has a happy ending.
Absolutely. Thank you, Peter. Well, some tough decisions, as Sergeant Jan said, had to be made tonight. And Homer Lane is with us, General Manager of Cool Television, and we've received calls from all over the country, television stations from all over the country, concerning the decision that was made of letting this gentleman go live. And Mr. Lane is here to talk about it. Was that a decision that you jointly made with the police officers, or tell us about it, sir?
Mary Jo, from the very first, our concern was for the safety of our people. Of course, we were concerned with setting a precedent, but of prime concern was the safety of Bill Close, Louis Villa, Jack Webb, Bob Cimino, Nancy, people who were in the studio at the time the gunman arrived. And from the moment we arrived, the police knew that if they felt it was necessary to grant the gunman's requests in order to secure the safety of our people, they knew that we would do it and could do it. And we were set up to do it instantly should the police decide that that was the proper next move. We feel that the police knew exactly what they were doing all along, and that the decision to go live was a necessary decision in order to secure the safety of Louis Villa and Bill Close. But it wasn't a decision that was reached at any last moment. It was something that the police knew from the very beginning that we would do if they felt that was necessary for the safety of our people.
There will be criticism about setting a precedent of letting people get on the air and give out messages. I'd like you to respond to that. And second, do you feel that the security here needs to be beefed up?
I think that all of us in broadcasting, and probably in publishing as well, the news media learned a lesson tonight, and that is that we must secure our premises in a far better fashion than we now do. Certainly, I think a precedent may have been set, but I think that with the example of tonight, other stations will be better prepared for such an eventuality. And not just the broadcast television stations and radio stations, but I think that newspapers are in for a similar problem.
What about the way the staff handled it tonight? How do you feel?
We're very, very proud of our staff. We're especially proud of Bill Close and of Louis Villa, and of course with Jack and Bob and Nancy, the people that whose lives were directly threatened, people who had guns pointed at them. And the man obviously meant business. He came into the building and fired his weapon. We knew right from the beginning that it wasn't a toy pistol, that he didn't have blanks in it. Those were real bullets. And our people showed great courage, great bravery, and the police great competence.
Any final thoughts, Mr. Lane?
It's been a long evening. I'm certainly glad it's over.
Thank you so much. Now, the reason we're doing our news tonight over here in the newsroom on this side of Cool News is because the area on the other side of the studio is secured by policemen. They're obviously investigating, getting as many clues as they can about the things that happened. They want to protect the case, and that's why we're over here tonight. There's a gentleman that's behind me right now who, well, we're all very proud of, Bill Close. And Bill, just would like to get some of your thoughts tonight. What went through your mind during those hours?
I guess the important thing to my mind is, when do we get this mess over with? I was very concerned for Louis Villa's safety, because every once in a while, Joe Gwynn would get a little excited. He would tense up, and he would pull back the hammer on that gun. And as you know, all you have to do is release the hammer and it goes off. You don't pull the trigger. I was afraid for Louis. It took me a time to realize what this guy wanted. And then I'm afraid, as you know, my impatience, I'm not very patient. My impatience got the better of me, and I was a little bit critical of the people who were trying to help us, with whom I was in practically constant contact on the telephone. I was impatient that we weren't getting on, acceding to his demands. Put the guy on live and let him give himself up. I know that we would have lost some commercial programming, but what the heck, Louis Villa's life was more important than that.
What about your life?
I was afraid a couple of times, but I did not want to let myself be afraid, because I felt that I had to, well, this may sound cocky, I felt I had to be in control of what was going on. And I felt that I was in control most of the time, but there were a couple of times when I started sucking air a little deeply.
When was that, Bill? Can you remember?
Well, there were two specific areas of time. One, initially when he was almost incoherent, and he had, what is that, the carotid hold or whatever it is that law enforcement has been criticized for using. Apparently this guy knew something about whether he'd had military training or what. And I was afraid that he might, if his demands were not exceeded, to use the gun on Louis, and I was prepared to go for him.
Were you?
You bet.
What would you have done? Grabbed the gun?
No, I wouldn't have grabbed the gun. I'd have hit him where a woman is supposed to hit a man when the man has dishonorable intentions.
You would have done it?
You darn right. And the second period of time was as we were negotiating for him to be seated beside me, and Louis was off to one side, and as he was seated beside me, he had in his lap the empty black bag, and he had that gun, and I could look down and see that that thing was, he had his thumb on it. And his hands were sweaty because he had, I could see they were sweaty, I could see them glistening. And I was afraid that his thumb would, might slip off of it. But as I was reading his 11 or 12 page, whatever it was, I could see that he was relaxing, and I felt more comfortable, and I didn't permit myself to look down to see if he still had his thumb on the hammer.
The hour is late, and I'm sure we'll be talking about this for many months to come. Any vital things you'd like to share with us this moment? Would you have done anything differently?
Not really. Not really. I do have to give credit to not only our people who were doing everything they can. When you're in a situation like that, you just don't think they're doing everything they can. You start thinking, why don't these knuckleheads do this or do that? They were doing everything to the best of their ability. And I do want to thank Bruce. I didn't get his last name. Is he negotiator?
Weiss.
Booth who?
I believe it's Weiss.
Bruce Rice?
Weiss.
Weiss, the negotiator with the police department, who was talking me through various areas. He's a heck of a guy.
We're glad you're okay.
Hey, so am I.
You have a terrific vacation.
I'm going to have a terrific vacation. I think I might go home and kiss my wife.
I think Joey would want you to do that.
And our older daughter and our son, who are there or were during most of this ordeal. Our younger daughter lives in the Denver area, and she heard about it on the news.
Oh, no.
My wife's family in South Dakota heard about it and telephoned, so my wife was on the phone a couple of times.
She stayed at the house and monitored the situation then?
Yeah, my wife decided, number one, that maybe we better not plan on taking a vacation beginning tomorrow, and number two, that she would be better off staying home. And I applaud the second decision, but not the first one.
Like the people to know that the vacation was planned before all this came about.
You bet, you bet.
Well, shall we close the newscast the way we usually do it?
All right.
Okay.
And that brings us right up to date on the news. So for the Cool News team,
Have a good evening.
good night.
This has been Cool News 10, Arizona's 24-hour television news service. Watch Cool News weeknights at 5, 6, and 10 p.m.
Mary Jo West Fashions by Sakowitz, Camelview Plaza, Scottsdale.